Pages 102 and 103 in our hard reading books. We're going to go over the vocabulary for lesson 4, unit 1, Diary of a Spider. I like Diary of a Spider. It's one of my favorite stories. Okay, so let's get started on the vocabulary. First vocabulary word on the page 102 in your book. A picture of an insect, an ant. The word is insects. It says on the front, ants, flies, and bees are all insects. They all have 6 legs. So what we need to remember about insects is that an insect is a very small animal. It has 6 legs, 3 body parts, and some of them might have wings. Okay? What you need to remember, and most importantly, what we need to remember is they have 6 legs and 3 body parts. Right? That's the most important thing to remember about insects. Number 2 in our vocabulary words on page 102 is the word dangerous. I have to say it in a dangerous way. Makes the word more interesting that way. And it says, be careful, a bee sting can be dangerous. It makes some people sick. If something is dangerous, it means it could hurt you or it's not safe. Okay, it's not safe, it could hurt you. Then we have the word scare. I do not like cockroaches. I do not like the picture on this card. Cockroaches will run away if you scare them. They frighten easily. If you scare something, it means you make them feel afraid. Or if someone scares you, they're making you feel afraid, right? So if you scare someone or someone scares you, it means that person or you are feeling afraid. And then we have sticky. Jake, focus, dude. Sticky, just like the web on the card. A spider web is sticky. Bugs can get caught and they can't fly away. When something is sticky, it means you can get stuck to it. You stick to it really easily. And it means these things get hooked on or stuck to it really fast. Like a spider web. Or like some tape or some glue. Like when you get glue on your desk after we do an artsy-fartsy project, and you get glue on your desk and then your desk is sticky and things get stuck to it. Means things can stick to it really easily. And then we have rotten on page 103 in our books. Ew, this apple is definitely rotten.
No, not eat that.
A housefly likes to eat rotten or spoiled food. Any flies eat rotten or spoiled food. If something is rotten, it means it's gotten bad. It's spoiled. It's not good to eat. It's probably old, smelly, maybe wrinkly, mushy, not good to actually eat, unless you're a housefly, and then you can eat it. That's an important job for houseflies. All right.
Yes.
Then we have the word screaming on page 103. That's our 6th vocabulary word. If you see a wasp, walk away quietly. Don't run away screaming. Because if you're screaming, you're making a loud, high-pitched noise. Ah! Wasps don't like that. It bothers them. And so we don't want to do that. We don't want to get them upset. If they get upset, it's when they get angry, it's when they sting. So just walk away really quietly. Don't make that loud, high-pitched scream. Yes, Alina?
My aunt got stung by a wasp before.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. All right, then we have the word breeze on page 103. It says a ladybug came in when a breeze blew open the window curtains. A breeze is a soft, light, gentle wind. So yesterday when you went outside for recess, it was really, really windy.
Yeah.
That was not a breeze. That was windy. A breeze is when it's just a little bit of wind. A soft, gentle wind. A light wind. Okay? And then last but not least, we have the word judge. And it says, look carefully before you judge or decide what this picture shows. When you judge something, it means you decide what you think about something or someone. Whether it's right or not right. You decide what you think about that thing or that person. Yes, Lonnie?
What? This picture shows that it's an insect that looks like stick.
Right, exactly. So you have to be careful and make sure you don't judge what the picture shows you. You have to be careful, make sure you see an insect and not a stick, right? So don't judge the picture and think that it's a stick. Even though it looks like a stick with legs, it is actually an insect or bug. Very good. Okay. All right, fantastic. Now, go ahead and turn to pages 106 and 107. This time when we read through our story, I'll stop and ask some questions as we go along.
I just clicked on it.
106 and 107. I'll stop and ask questions, but before we get started on our story, I'm going to talk about what kind of story we have today. Diary of a Spider is a humorous fiction story. First of all, can anybody remember what fiction means? If a story is fiction, Tim, what does that mean?
That means fake.
Yeah, it means fake. Fiction means fake, make believe. Can anybody remember what humorous means? Zayden.
I thought that they're trying to make it funny.
Yeah, it's funny. So basically, it's a funny, fake story. Humorous fiction story is a funny, make-believe fake story. The whole reason why the author, in this case Doreen Cronin, wrote the story is she really just wanted to make people laugh. That's the whole reason why she wrote the story. It's just to make people laugh. Levi, put your supplies away. I've already asked you twice today. They don't need to be on your desk right now. We just have a book, okay? So in those kinds of stories, you're going to have characters who do or say funny things because it's supposed to be funny. And you're going to have events or things that happen in the story that are not going to happen in real life. For example, a fly and a spider are not really going to be friends in real life, just like they are in this story. It's a make-believe story. It's not going to happen. But it's a lot more fun to think that a fly and a spider could be friends. Or, for example, fly gets stuck to the bedroom wall in spider's room. That's kind of funny. It's a lot more funny to write about it, even though it would never happen. Okay? Okay, so, and we're just thinking right now about our essential questions. How do good friends act? Now, remember, this is a diary, which is like a journal, which is like a book that you might write about things that happen in your life. If you keep a diary, it's like writing a little story about your life on the day that it happens or when you want to remember it. So there's dates at the top of each page because that would be the day that this thing happened in Spider's life. So March 1st, or March 1, today was Grandparents' Day at school, so I brought Grandpa with me. He taught us 3 things. Spiders are not insects. Insects have 6 legs. Without spiders, insects could take over the world, and butterflies taste better with a little barbecue sauce. There's one of those funny things that make the story a humorous fiction story. Now, I see in my vocabulary word insects. It's all nice and yellow on that page. What are the 3 things that we need to remember about insects? Angelina, can you tell me one of them?
They have 3 legs on each side.
They have 6 legs altogether. Yep, they have 6 legs altogether. What else can we remember, Jamie?
Some insects bite.
They might, but that's not one of the things that we need to remember. Zayden?
They have 3 body parts.
They have 3 body parts. They have 3 parts to their body: the head, the abdomen, and the thorax. And I can talk about that at another time. So there's 3 parts to their body. They have 6 legs. There's 3 parts to their body, and there's something else that some of them might have, Derek.
They will fly.
Yes. So what do they have that helps them fly?
The wings.
Right. Some might have wings. Some insects fly. Not all insects fly. So let me ask this question. Then why aren't spiders insects? Aren't they a kind of bug? Why aren't spiders insects if they're a bug? Logan, why aren't they insects?
Because they have 8 legs.
Yes, exactly. Spiders have 8 legs.
No.
Does it say that insects can have 6 or more legs?
No.
No, it just says 6 legs, right? So they can't be insects if they have less than 6 legs or more than 6 legs. They can only be insects if they have 6 legs. So that's why spiders cannot have or not be considered insects. Now, on this page, I can figure out something that spiders eat. Can you guess what spiders eat according to this page? What do spiders eat, Alina?
Like flies, like insects.
But on this page, what did it tell me that they eat? Which I was surprised because I did not know this. What did it say that they eat on this page? Yanessa, do you have your hand up? Okay. What do they say that they eat on this page? Dana, what do you think?
Flies.
Doesn't say they eat flies. Angelina?
Butterflies.
Butterflies. How do I know they eat butterflies? Angelina, what does it say?
It says butterflies taste better with
A little
a little.
barbecue sauce. Right. Fantastic, Angelina. Did the author say spiders eat butterflies? No, the author didn't say that, right? The author could say that, but she didn't. She wanted to make it a little bit more funny. We all giggled when it said butterflies taste a little bit better with barbecue sauce. We thought that was funny. And that is funny, but it's also the author's way of telling you spiders eat butterflies. She didn't have to say it in those kinds of words. She was able to tell you in a funny way, but now you know that spiders must eat butterflies because they do taste a little bit better with barbecue sauce. I'm picturing like a tiny little wee bottle of barbecue sauce. And a spider sitting there at the spider table, shaking a little bit of barbecue sauce on a little bit of butterfly. Oh, poor butterfly. That's kind of sad now that I think about it. But I'm picturing like tiny little miniature bottles of barbecue sauce. I think it's funny. That's what I see in my head. Okay. Now, March 16th. Grandpa says that in his day, flies and spiders did not get along. Things are different now. And here we have a piece of, looks like ripped newspaper. It says, the Compost Times, spiders and flies rumble in the city. And let me see if I can read it better in your book. It says, the spider's saying trash mouth. And the bug or the insect is saying cannibal. Cannibal is an animal that eats its own kind. So, but now we have fly and spider. Flies pulling spider through the air on a piece of web, and a spider saying, "This is awesome!" So, how did spiders act when Grandpa was a kid? How did spiders act when Grandpa was a kid, Kaden? How did spiders and flies act when Grandpa was a kid?
They act mean.
Right, they didn't get along very well. Yeah, they were probably mean to each other, right? Now, if you look though, the pictures can show us how things are different now by showing us that fly and spider are actually playing together. So the words are telling us that Grandpa said that when he was a kid, they didn't get along. But the picture can tell us that that's different than what it was before. Okay, on the next page, March 29th. Today in gym class, we learned how to catch the wind so we could travel to faraway places. What do you think that means, catch the wind? What's that mean? Zeta, what do you think that means?
Where they catch the wind where they can find other places.
Right, it means that they're catching the wind to fly to other places, but what does catch the wind mean? It's something called an idiom, and we will study idioms later in language arts, but I didn't know if anybody knew what that phrase, catch the wind, means. Does it mean I'm reaching out and grabbing the wind and pulling it in? No, because you can't do that, right? Not that I know of yet. I can't go and just grab wind and hold on to it. It's just air. There's nothing I can do. But what does that mean if he's catching the wind? What do you think, Tim? Go ahead, Derek. It probably is windy, but if a spider is catching the wind, what do you think that means, Lonnie?
But he can't pull the wind because it's impossible.
Right. What it means is that he's using the wind to help him move. So he's not catching the wind like grabbing it in his little spider legs. He's using the wind to help him get to faraway places, okay? So, and spiders do that. When it gets really breezy, what they actually do is they let a little piece of their silk, their web, out, and it kind of acts like a
Hang glider?
kind of like a hang glider or like a parachute for the spider, and it gets the wind. The wind gets underneath the little piece of silk or web, and it actually can carry them from one place to the other. The spiders are little. If they were to go that way on their legs, it would take them a long time. If they go that way in the wind, if it's a windy day, they can travel a lot farther, a lot faster. So here's the gym teacher going, next. Then it says, when I got home, I made up flashcards so I could practice. Number 1, climb high. Number 2, release silk. Number 3, catch wind. Fly made up her own flashcard. Number 1, fly. I'm starting to see why Grandpa doesn't like her. Now, why is Spider making flashcards? Flashcards, by the way, are little pieces of paper or little cards that you write some things on. Rosemary, why might Spider be making flashcards?
So he can remember what he's supposed to do when he needs to do that.
Right, it helps him remember. It's a way that you can practice the steps of doing something, in this case, how to practice catching the wind. Or maybe you might make up flashcards. Oh, like those of us that have been here and we have been using sight word cards. You might remember your sight word cards in the past. Little words, little cards with little words on them. And you practice saying those words. Those are flashcards. It helps you practice and remember them so they get stuck in your brain so that you always remember those words, okay? So Spider's doing the same thing. Now, why does Fly only have 1 flashcard? Spider has 3. Climb high, release silk, catch wind. Fly has 1. Fly. Why does Fly only have 1 flashcard, Zayden?
Because he has wings.
Yeah, because he has wings, so he can just get up and fly anytime, right? He doesn't have to worry about catching the wind. He can just fly whenever he needs to. Okay. On the next page, April 1st. I went to the park with my sister today. We tried the seesaw. It didn't work. We tried the tire swing. It didn't work. We spun a huge sticky web on the water fountain. That worked. Eek! Okay. So, first of all, I see the word sticky here. It's highlighted in yellow. It's one of our vocabulary words. What does sticky mean again? Levi, what does sticky mean again?
That means something that's that can stick to stuff.
Yeah, it gets things stuck to it. Things can hook onto it or stick to it really easy. How does the picture on page 113 help us understand that word? How do the picture clues help us understand what sticky means? So look at this picture here on page 113 in your book. How does that picture help us understand what sticky means? Angelina?
It grabs onto things.
Like what? What do we see it grabbing onto?
Girl
Where?
at the water fountain
But where on the girl?
on the nose.
Yeah, here is the web stuck to her nose. And where else? Jose? It's stuck to the girl's nose, but where else is that web stuck?
That is
Jamie, where else is it stuck? On the water fountain. Look, right on the edge of the water fountain, right? So here's this piece of web that's on the water fountain and all the way to the girl's nose, and it shows how it goes all the way up from one to the other, down from one to the other. It's really, really sticky. The picture can show us that it's stuck to a couple of different things, so it must be super sticky. Yes, Logan?
And I can see this little web right there too.
I actually think that that's her hands moving. Like when somebody gets excited and they're like, ah, and they shake their hands. I think it's her hands moving. She's probably shaking her hands because she has webs stuck to her face. Do you ever do that when something kind of surprises you or scares you? Like, oh! Then you might startle yourself, shake your hands a little bit. Okay, some people do. Okay, now, on the next page, April 12th. Today was safety day at school. We learned that vacuums eat spider webs and are very, very dangerous. If we hear a vacuum, we should stop, drop, and run. Stop what we're doing, drop from the web, and run like crazy. Why do you think spiders learn about vacuums on safety day? We don't do vacuum drills.
No.
We do fire drills, we do intruder drills, we do tornado drills, we do hurricane drills. We don't do vacuum drills.
Nope.
Why do you think spiders on their safety day practice vacuum drills? Jamie, what do you think?
Because they get their webs.
Nice and loud.
They cross their homes.
They don't necessarily crush their homes.
They vacuum it out.
What happens when they vacuum it up?
The web goes.
What does a vacuum do?
Get stuff off the floor.
Yeah, but how does it get the stuff off the floor? Does it just like push it along? No, actually it doesn't. How does a vacuum work, Tim?
You put it when they turn it on, and you push it somewhere, and then it sucks up.
It sucks it up. Yeah, exactly. It sucks it up. So a vacuum actually uses a motor inside of it to like suck the air backwards. And so that anything that's underneath the vacuum, the air is really strong and it's pulling it up like off the floor or wherever it is that you're vacuuming, inside the car or whatever. So spider webs, sometimes you do maybe along the baseboards or in corners and things like that. So spider webs get sucked up into the vacuum and they usually disappear at that point, right? So they need to practice that because what could happen to the poor spider too if the vacuum was coming along? Logan?
They will gobble the spider up too.
Yeah, the spider will get all gobbled up and sucked up into the vacuum also. Now, stop what we're doing, drop from the web, and run like crazy. Why is that funny? I think it's funny. Do you think it's funny?
Yeah.
It does sound a little silly. Stop what we're doing, drop from your web, and run like crazy. Why do you think they practice it in that way? Sadie, why do you think they practice it that way?
Because where they know what to do whenever it actually happens.
Well, they do need to know what to do when it actually happens. But why do you think they practice that? When we do a fire drill, do we stop what we're doing and run like crazy?
No.
No. Oh my goodness, the chaos that would happen if we did it that way, right? But that's what spiders do in their spider whatever, in their spider safety days. That's what spiders do. But so why do you think spiders practice it that way? Stop what you're doing, drop from the web, and run like crazy. Why do you think, Angelina?
Because the author wants it to be funny, and because they might get sucked in if they don't run.
Exactly. The author does want it to be funny, and it does sound funny. But most importantly, like Angelina said, he's running the vacuum. If somebody's running a vacuum, like Tim was telling us, the vacuum sucks things up. So you don't want the spider, you don't want to be in the way of the vacuum. You're going to get sucked up, right? So stop what you're doing, run from the web, drop from the web, and run like crazy. Now, on the next page, April 13th, we had a vacuum drill today. I stopped what I was doing, forgot where I was going, and ran screaming from the room. Help! We're having another drill tomorrow. Uh-oh. So, why are they going to practice that vacuum drill again? What happened? What went wrong? What went wrong with that vacuum drill? Rosemary, what went wrong with that vacuum drill?
He forgot where he was going.
He forgot where he was going, right? Think about that if we did that with a fire drill. we just ran willy-nilly everywhere, forgot where we were supposed to go. That wouldn't work very well, would it? So they have to practice again. Just like if we didn't do our fire drill correctly, like if we did just stop what we were doing and just run like crazy, we would have to practice it again, correct? Yes, Tim? No? We're having another drill tomorrow. I read those. That's why I was asking why they were having another drill. So, and also, do you find it a little funny that the spider is screaming? I do too. I almost can picture like spiders running across the floor. I almost want to listen to hear if I hear this little as they're running away. I don't think I would hear that over a vacuum cleaner though, because I don't know about you. I think vacuum cleaners are like super loud. They hurt my ears. But I wonder now if spiders actually do that. Do you think they scream like little when they're running away? Or like when somebody's coming up getting ready to go, ah, are they going, I don't know. You never know. You don't think it happens? I think it happens. It makes it more funny. Okay. On the next page, April 17th. I'm sleeping over at Worm's house tonight. I hope they don't have leaves and rotten tomatoes for dinner again. What's that word rotten mean again? What does that word rotten mean again, Alina?
It's like smushy and all like soiled.
Spoiled. Yep, it's spoiled, smushy. Any other words that could describe rotten? Yanessa? Do you have your hand up? Yeah, it's bad. You shouldn't eat it. Spoiled, rotten, or spoiled, not good, bad. Don't eat it. So it's maybe wrinkly, maybe mushy, maybe smelly, maybe old, smelly and old. You know, really gross. You don't want to eat it. But worms like to eat that kind of thing. So do flies. May 7th, Mom said I was getting too big for my own skin, so I molted. And Worm down here at the bottom is saying, that is so gross. Now, we talked about what molted means yesterday. Do you remember what it means when a spider molts? Or a lizard might molt, or a snake might molt, or a frog might molt. Levi, what does that mean?
That means they're growing too big for their skin.
Yeah, they're growing too big for their skin, so what do they actually do?
They molt.
But what happens when they molt?
They take off on their small layer of skin so they can grow bigger.
Fantastic, yeah. They take off the old skin and the new skin is already growing underneath, okay? Yes, Jamie, do you have a question? Okay. May 8th. Today was show and tell, so I brought in my old skin. Ew. My teacher called on it to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. And this is what I'm picturing the teacher sounds like. You there! Why don't you get us started? That's what I think. And if you look at Spider, Spider looks a little surprised, doesn't he? He's got those like surprise lines coming off of the top of his head, like really? Did she just call on my dead molted skin? Ew. Okay. Okay. On the next page. June 5th. Daddy Longlegs made fun of Fly because she eats with her feet. Now she won't come out of her treehouse. I'm going to find him and give him a piece of my mind. There's another idiom right there. What do you think that means, give him a piece of my mind? I know we haven't talked about idioms yet, but I want to kind of bring them out when I see them. Does it really mean that Spider's going to take a piece of his brain out of his head and give it to Daddy Longlegs?
No.
Because that's what he says, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. He'll open up his head and go, here you go, have some brains. Ew. No, he's not going to do that. What do you think that means, though? Give him a piece of my mind. Rosemary, you want to give it a try?
Teach him a lesson.
Teach him a lesson. It's a good explanation. You want to add to that, Angelina?
That he gotta go sorry probably.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
He gotta go say sorry to Fly.
Who has to go say sorry to Fly?
Daddy Longlegs.
Okay, so what does piece of my mind mean when it comes to saying sorry to Fly? one of the things that Daddy Longleg could do would be to say sorry to Fly. But if somebody says, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind, Levi, do you want to guess what that means?
That means make him apologize.
Not necessarily make him apologize, but if you say, I'm going to go give that person a piece of my mind, kind of like Rosemary was saying, teach him a lesson. It means you want to go to that person and you want to say, hey, I am angry with you, or I am mad at you because, and whatever it was that made you mad, okay? So Fly is probably going to go to Daddy Longlegs and say, hey, Daddy Longlegs, I am mad at you. I'm sorry, Spider is going to go to Daddy Longlegs and say, hey, Daddy Longlegs, I am mad at you because you made Fly cry. You need to go apologize to Fly. That wasn't very nice. You're being a bully. You said mean things to her. You said you picked on her because she eats with her feet. That's not nice. That's being a bully. That would be giving somebody a piece of your mind. But we find on June 6th, I found Daddy Longlegs. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was. I gave him a piece of my lunch instead. Why do you think Spider didn't give Daddy Longlegs a piece of his mind? Why didn't he just get angry with Daddy Longlegs like he said he was going to, Zayden?
Because he was a lot bigger than he thought he was.
He's a lot bigger. So, how do you think Spider's feeling?
A little bit scared.
Yeah, so Spider's probably a little bit scared because Daddy Longlegs is a lot taller. And the illustrator shows a picture that looks like Daddy Longlegs is so big they doesn't even fit on the page, right? Daddy Longlegs is a lot bigger than he thought he was. Okay. On the next page, maybe. If I can get it to turn.
Maybe.
Here we go. June 7th. Fly's treehouse blew away in the wind today. So did Grandpa. Oh, here we go. Grandpa's got his suitcase. And he's got his map of Paris. So where do you think Grandpa's going?
Paris.
Where do you think Grandpa's going, Jamie? Paris? Let's see. June 18th, I got a postcard from Grandpa today. Dear Spider, ooh la la, I landed in Paris. Fantastic. French bugs are delicious. Au revoir, Grandpa. And then it says leg of French gnat. Give it a try. Why do you think he sent him a leg of a bug? Why did he send him a leg of a bug? Alina, why did he send him a leg of a bug?
To let him try it and see what it tastes like.
Yeah, because spiders eat insects, right? Yeah. So he did make it to Paris. So the reason why we know he made it to Paris is, first of all, he had a map of Paris in his hand when he was leaving. And then a few days later, Spider got a postcard from him saying, I got to Paris. I landed in Paris. June 30th, Grandpa came home today. I couldn't wait to hear about how he rode the winds all the way over the ocean. Turns out he caught a breeze to the airport and napped in first class. So how did Spider's grandpa get to Paris in the first place? How did he get to Paris in the first place? Rosemary.
He caught a wind to the airport.
Yeah, so he caught the wind to the airport. So see here in this picture, yeah, it looks like he's holding on to a string or something. That's actually a piece of his web. And remember I was telling you at the beginning of the story what spiders do is they let a little bit of their web out and it gets caught in the wind like a flag or like a balloon might, like a parachute. And the wind will then pull the spider where it needs to go with that little piece of web. So he was flying all the way to Paris on his little piece of web. How did he get back from Paris, though? Did he come back the same way? Logan, you're shaking your head. No. Why do you think he didn't come back the same way?
On a boat.
He came back on a boat? How do we know?
Because there's a boat right there.
There is a boat in the picture. But what else does it say that he? What else did it say that he did, though? Jamie.
He got caught in the breeze.
Says he caught a breeze to the airport and napped in first class. So did he come back on a boat? No, because if you go to the airport, what do you get at the? What are you getting on when you get to an airport? Zayden.
A plane.
A plane, right? So how did he come back from Paris? He took a plane. Yeah, he took an airplane. And when he napped in first class, there's two parts to an airplane. The front of the plane usually is first class if it's a really, really big one. The back of the plane is usually coach. But notice he's not with the people down in the seats. If you look at the picture, he's not with the people down in the seats. He's actually up in the baggage compartment that's above the seats, okay? So he's hiding out there. Smart spider, knowing that he shouldn't be hiding out where all the people are. Okay. July 2nd on the next page. Poor Fly. Fly came over to play today. She got stuck in our web and her mom had to come get her. Grandpa laughed a little too hard. From now on, we have to play at Fly's house. Why did Grandpa laugh about Fly getting stuck in the web? Why did Grandpa laugh about that? Alina, what do you think?
Because it was funny that Fly got stuck on the web.
Is it funny to everyone that Fly got stuck in the web? No, but it's funny to Grandpa that Fly got stuck in the web. But why is it funny to Grandpa that Fly got stuck in the web? Remember what Grandpa said it was like when he was a kid back at the beginning of the story? What did Grandpa say it was like when he was a kid back at the beginning of the story, Zayden?
They didn't get along.
Yeah, spiders and flies did not get along when he was a kid. So Grandpa's kind of old school, right? He doesn't think that spiders and flies should be friends, even though in our story they are. So Grandpa's laughing because Fly is stuck. He thinks that it's funny. Is that nice for him to be laughing at her because she's stuck? No, that's not really nice. Fly's mom also does not look like she's very happy, does she? She looks really shocked and surprised. So why do you think they have to play at Fly's house from now on? Why do they have to play at Fly's house looking from now on?
So they don't get stuck on the web.
Yeah, so poor Fly doesn't get stuck to the web all the time. It's not safe for Fly to be in Spider's house that's made out of webs. All right, July 9th. Today was my birthday. Grandpa decided I was old enough to know the secret to a long, happy life. Never fall asleep in a shoe. Why is that a secret to a long, happy life? Kaden, why do you think that's a secret to a long, happy life? Never fall asleep in a shoe.
They can put on the shoe and they can step they can kill the bugs because they fall asleep in the shoe and the person would put on the shoe and it would crush them.
Right. If a spider is sleeping in a shoe and somebody goes to put their shoes on, like Kaden said, they would get squished, right? So never fall asleep in a shoe. We would never fall asleep in a shoe, but we're not insects either, are we? I think that would go for any insect, not just spiders. Never fall asleep in a shoe. Okay. July 16th. Things I scare. Number 1, Fly's mom. It wasn't his fault, Mom. Number 2, tiny bugs. This little bug looks a bit shocked and surprised with Spider running after it, looking like he's going, ha 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 ha. Number 3, people using water fountains at the park. Now, why do you think Fly's mom is scared by Spider? How does Spider scare Fly's mom? How does Spider scare Fly's mom, Jamie? But what is Spider doing, or what did Spider do, Angelina?
He had web walls, and then Fly got stuck in there, and now the mom is.
How did Fly get stuck in there, though? Do you know what spiders do when they catch insects in their webs? They actually take a little piece of the web and they wrap the insect with it. So it's like a little bug burrito. Okay? And they usually don't leave the head poking out like that you see in the picture. It's like a bug burrito. And so they wrap it all the way around the insect. So the whole insect's body is covered with web. And then eventually the insect dies so that the spider can eat it. Sometimes the spider takes a little bite first. That kind of thing. It's really gross, but that's how spiders live, right? Everything needs to eat something. So here we have Fly all wrapped up like a little bug burrito. And Spider's not doing it to be mean. He was just playing around. But Fly's mom doesn't like how that looks. Because it looks like Spider's going to eat Fly, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's how he scares Fly's mom. Now, on the next page, July 17th, things that scare me: daddy long legs, vacuums, and people with big feet. And here we have a little picture of Spider going, no! Just like when Spider was running, yelling, oh, help. Do these little spiders go, no, when they see a big foot getting ready to smash them? I don't know. Maybe. And then last but not least, August 1st. I wish that people wouldn't judge all spiders based on the few spiders that bite. I know if we took the time to get to know each other, we would get along just fine. Just like me and Fly. I want to talk about that vocabulary word judge real fast before we move on. What does judge mean again? Can you remember? Alina, what does it mean?
Like you're judging someone.
What does that mean if you're judging someone? Angelina?
You're telling someone what to do?
No, that would be commanding someone. You're not telling them what to do. Jamie? When you judge someone, it means you make up your mind. You make a decision what you think about something or someone. So you have in your brain what you think about that thing is when you're judging it. Maybe it's a good thought. Maybe it's a not so good thought. So you think about something or someone in your own brain. You make up your mind and decision what you think about that person, okay? So he's saying, I wish people wouldn't make up their minds and think that spiders and flies or spiders are bad because some spiders bite. So, because a lot of people are afraid of spiders just because they think spiders are going to bite or they think spiders are yucky. But that's not true for everybody. And then if you get to know each other, then you realize that you may just get along with your spider, just like Fly and Spider do. I don't think I would get along with my spiders, but you never know. Yes, Jake?
My sister likes spiders.
Does she? Yeah, some people like spiders. Some people don't. So your sister has judged spiders and decided that she likes them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people judge spiders and decide they don't like them. Okay? When you judge something, you decide what you think about someone or something. Okay. All right. So for right now, you can go ahead and put your book away.